Thank you for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my partner in crime, my esteemed colleague of mine. Really, the best way to describe him is my everything. It's at Eric Dalal.
What's up, Phil?
What's going on?
What's happening?
What's good?
What are you still doing here?
What do you mean?
You got to getting on.
Oh, because I'm going to Canton, Ohio.
Canton.
Yeah, Canton. Yeah,
Who are you going with?
I'm going with our good friend Ben Swanson.
It's me.
What are you
I'm
doing
also
here?
You going to Canton?
I am. I'm really excited.
It's going to be very humid for flannel, but Swanson is somehow going to try and
find a way,
pull it off.
I'm gradually going less and less formal, though.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true. You've just
We
given
had to
up
force
now.
you to put that T-shirt on.
It's camp, baby.
Yeah, and when Swanson goes camping, it's always shirtless. So, thank you for putting that on.
Thanks for doing that.
Appreciate it,
What
Swanson.
what hat you got on there?
Oh, this is Josie Jewel's Route 43 Juicery.
Not a sponsor.
Acai Bowl?
Not a
a
sponsor,
sponsor.
but we'll let them have
Not
the
a sponsor?
Free
Could
pub.
be, though.
No free pub.
Could be if Josie's interested in
Josie,
getting involved
have your
with the
people
neutral
talk
zone.
to our people.
Exactly, yeah. It won't be cheap, but
That's
it's worth it.
That's true.
Yeah, it's worth it.
And if you're ever in Northeast Iowa,
Yeah.
looking
Head
for an
on down
acai
Route
bowl,
23.
Yep. It's a nice little spot.
it is.
Yeah.
So
So
like-
you're going on to Canton, huh?
Yeah, DeMarcus Ware, our good friend.
That's exciting.
Being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You do any coverage out there?
Some nice coverage, yeah.
Wow.
I thought we were just going for the party.
Gold.
Well, that
There's a
too,
party?
of course, yeah.
You didn't
It's
tell,
called
you
jacket
didn't
dinner.
tell me.
That's what it's really all about. You know what I mean?
There's a gold jacket ceremony. There's an induction.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
it is nice. Yeah.
So Marcus Ware. Not a Ring of Famer, of course, because he only played here 3 seasons, but I think you would call him a Broncos Hall of Famer.
What? Let's just change that rule for DeMarcus, I think.
Yeah.
What do
He's
you
a
think?
captain on the Super Bowl 50 team.
Yeah. He played a pivotal role on the field and off the field.
That's true.
Yeah. Some might say he left a lasting legacy in Denver.
He helped Von Miller become what he became.
Yeah. He did those nice little hand drills with the chopping,
Yeah.
you know?
Did you see recently a reporter
Yeah, they were like, I've never seen this before
he
ever.
posted a video
Yeah.
of like 2 defensive linemen hand fighting or something,
Yeah.
and he's like, I've never seen this sort of
I've
work
covered
before.
the NFL for like 20 years, and I've never seen
And
this.
this person
is
just got
amazing.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Because that's pretty much all pass rushers do is that.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's sort of a chopping.
we've been doing that on the
It's like
show.
an
Swimming.
MMA kind
Yeah.
of
If you
like-
watch on YouTube, which we'll get to that,
Why wouldn't you?
you've seen us do that on this show many times.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you've been to Von Miller's Pass Rush Summit,
You've been there.
I've been there. Swanson's been there. You have not been there.
No, I've never been.
You've seen
I
him do
heard they
that.
have a lot of
You do a
chopping
cross
there.
chop.
Ch-
You do a
cross?
regular chop. I mean,
Yeah.
just a lot of hand fighting.
Yeah. It's sort of
But DeMarcus is one of our favorites, of course.
of course.
I won't be going out there, but I gotta stay here and watch practice.
Yeah.
They said, Eric, we need observations.
We
We need
somebody's gotta
Broncos
do
camp
it.
observations.
Somebody's got to do it.
We need to know who is flying down the field on punt return.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the 4th string running back who had one nice play?
Yeah, they were like, certainly can't have anybody else tell us.
No.
So I'll be staying here, but I hope
but
you
you're
guys
good
have.
at that. I mean, you're really good. So
Staying
let's
here?
just no. Observing.
Oh, yeah, it's one of the best things I
It's
do.
one of the best observations you
Yeah.
can get.
You can find those at denverbroncos.com. Not from Thursday because it was a closed practice. It
Exactly.
means no tweeting
No
during
observing.
practice,
No observing.
mostly.
Yeah. Who's been enjoying Broncos Camp daily, huh? That's a good question.
What's that?
That's our first topic on this episode.
We're ranking our top 7 episodes of Broncos Camp
Yeah, yeah.
Daily.
Well, if you look at the numbers, Eric,
That's true. A lot of
that
people
would
have been
be
enjoying
very
it.
nice. Could be
For
very
those who
nice.
don't know, Phil, because I've gotten a lot of tweets
Ooh.
or X's. You get X's now?
I think that's what you call it. Yeah.
Gotten a lot of X's asking me where the live show is.
Oh, yeah. No more live
We've
show.
had some people in person ask us this.
Yeah.
Where Steve Atwater is,
Yeah.
the Hoff.
The Hoff.
The answer is that because of team media policies, we are not permitted to do a live training camp show, but we are
Policy.
still doing a daily recap after every open practice. I think there's 12 of those.
Yeah.
We're really just getting started.
The nice thing is it's a little more easy to digest this.
A little
10
more
minutes,
easy.
10 minutes is just, it's nice.
Yeah, there's no kind of 11 on 11 footage out there, but
No, there's no 11 on 11.
unless you follow certain fan accounts, then you
And
could
they
probably
just-
see it.
Yeah.
Like I saw a nice video before it got taken down of Cortland Sutton's one-handed grab against
Ooh.
PS2.
You got to be a legit fan if you're just coming out to practice and just recording the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, what are they
You're
doing?
like, what could happen here?
Phone battery.
What? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got the
Give
like
us a
the
packs.
Mifi, or what's it called?
Mophie?
Would you?
Excuse me?
Cannot say that.
Jeez. They got like a backpack on connected to the phone.
One-
Yeah. One,
put-
one at
how
a
do you
time.
put a backpack
One
on?
at a time.
So you
like
go
this,
one,
Then you kind of got to do a shoulder thing.
and then
and
you
then another
kind of adjust.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
That's pretty much the only way
You
pull one
kind
those
of
on.
make that up, or where did you first see that?
No, I didn't do it.
Got it.
Yeah, starting Q
Oh,
in our lives. Yeah.
We'll get to the shout outs later.
Yeah, we'll do some shout outs later. We'll do some shout outs later.
But Phil, yeah, we got Broncos Camp Daily. We got Hall
Yeah.
of Fame content coming. So a
Yeah,
lot
it's-
of good stuff on its way.
Yeah. And, if you want, you could also follow all of that along on the Broncos brand new app. It's just called Broncos, I think.
It's brand new,
It's it's fresh.
redesigned.
A fresh redesign.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like how Twitter was Twitter before and then turned into X.
Yeah, we were Broncos 365. Now we're
Yeah.
just Broncos.
And that's because we've received a lot of complaints about the leap year.
Yep.
We had not covering it on February 29th. So
Well, one of our loyal
decided
listeners,
to-
who will remain unnamed, once told me that we don't actually have 365 days of content, so it should have been renamed earlier.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, we do, but
I'm pretty sure
they asked
do.
kind of where is Good Morning Broncos country?
Oh, they were asking about that?
Yeah. Why are there not any photo
I thought it was
galleries?
that quarter day. They just didn't. They were like,
Oh,
what's
that's
going on
why?
with it? Yeah. It's a lie.
Just
sort of a
Broncos
lie.
now. So if
Yeah,
you don't
just
have that
Broncos.
app, go
You can follow there. Yeah.
Go get you an app.
Check it out. Of course, today we'll be talking about our thoughts from the first week of camp, Eric.
Okay.
And then also maybe some standouts and surprises.
Wow, that sounds like a good title for a podcast.
Standouts and surprises. It's kind of nice. Some guys,
Have stood out.
yeah, they've really stood out.
Some
and then
guys,
other guys,
they've surprised.
They've surprised. And we're going to talk about it.
Can't wait.
There's always a
Is that
couple
the
of guys who
second
just hit
topic?
the scene.
Hit the scene?
And then you're like, whoa, who's this guy? You look on your roster. Of course, you've memorized everybody.
Correct.
Swanson's memorized everybody. And I'm like, does this guy
You're like,
catch touchdowns? If
31.
not,
Who
I
is
don't
this?
know.
Yeah.
Who's this 10 I keep seeing?
If they're not in the
Like,
highlights, I
who's
don't know. what that
99?
is. That's Zach Allen.
Nice.
He makes the sacks.
Nice.
He's TJ
Who's
Watt.
95?
He's a JJ Watt,
Who's 95?
part 2. Okay, so those are the two topics. 95 in my heart, always Derek Wolf.
Yeah.
So that's
see.
I choose not to learn the new ones because
Oh, got it.
out of respect. You know what I mean?
Right. Honor the past.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I choose to do just personally.
Phil, if someone wanted to tell you who number 95 is, should I
I'd
tell them how to
you.
do that?
Oh, well, yeah. I don't understand what you're saying. You just look at the roster, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was going to say that you could send us an email.
Oh, got it. Because this is an interactive show.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay, let's
I
get
was
to
trying to
that.
move it
You
along.
forgot
Yeah,
it
let's
was
try to do
interactive, huh?
I was like, what are you talking about?
I think it's been about 15 minutes. Oh, wow.
Perfect.
This was a quick intro, actually.
See,
so
that's what I thought
we'll,
we were
we'll
just
mess around
getting
a little bit
started.
after
Yeah.
this.
Okay, yes. How do you get involved in the show?
You can leave us an email at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 707-NEUTRAL.
Yeah, 707 neutral. Uh-huh.
Can I talk, or are you going to interrupt me?
You take it away.
You can X at us directly on X, at Phil Milani with a PH, at Eric DeLallo with an A, non-traditional spellings. Or, Phil, you can go to the Broncos official YouTube page. Scroll past, well, don't scroll past it. Watch Broncos Camp Daily. And then check out the Neutral Zone and leave a little comment, and we will read them right here.
Right now. Am I allowed to talk now?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. And I've reviewed these ahead of today's show.
Don't necessarily believe that.
M.H. Gaffney. These guys take 15 minutes to BS before they get serious about football. No problema. Just fast forward. Then Darren T. 1010. Darren T. 1010. For me, the BS at the beginning of the show stands for best segment.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Boom roasted.
I think they're
Thank you very
equally
much.
good.
Human_person_. That's how you know. Loved the show as always. Yeah. They don't even have to answer that question. Are you a robot? It's just like
human. I'm a human person.
Yeah, we know.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Select all the photos where there's a bicycle. You're like, what? Darren T 1010 also comments and says, what separates the neutral zone from other Broncos podcasts is that you guys knock on wood and you don't touch wood. Oh, yeah, and you guys are seriously funny. Some people say touch wood.
We do touch wood. There's wood right here.
I think we say knock on wood.
Who says touch wood?
Some people do. I don't know. We say knock on wood.
Yeah.
That's just sort of what we do.
Touch wood.
Yeah, some people just say touch wood.
I've not heard that.
Jerry Judy said when he touches that paint, he was gonna have
That means get the ball in the box?
yeah.
Touch the
He was
paint.
gonna have a good celebration.
Oh.
Said the first time I touched that paint.
Does that mean like the center
It's
logo,
very,
like
it's very
midfield?
different than when Swanson touches that paint. Because that's like in a nice, like in a park on a
That was a
Sunday
long
afternoon.
setup, but that was good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
He touches that paint.
Get the easel out. It's nice, huh? Yeah.
Get those brushes going.
We can't wait to see what you do from camp.
He's like, boom.
Can't wait to touch that paint. That was good, Eric. That was nice. GGG 15. Great show, guys. Underdog 32. Let's go Broncos. Grantled better. Grantled better. 6704. It could be Grant Led. I don't
Grant
know.
Ledbetter.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Grantold. Gosh, I hope
I
his
don't know how to read all these. You know, there's some crazy names out there.
hope
You
his
know?
name's Grantold better.
I know how to read, okay?
Oh,
I know how to
man.
read.
You definitely read them before the show.
Yeah. I don't read the handles before the show. Are you guys going to be at training camp on Monday? I'd like to see you there and bask in the genius.
We will be there,
Yeah, we're
Grantold.
always here.
Come bask in the genius, Grantold.
Ledbetter. I apologize. Grant Ledbetter. Dang it. I tried so hard, you know?
Grantold. That's it. It's one of my favorite moments in a long time.
Some of these are hard to read. Dominic Cavazos, our good friend. Ben Swanson definitely stacks wood and chops bricks. That's a shot at you,
That's true.
Swanson. That's a
I think
shot.
I don't think it's a shot. I think that's saying that Swanson's strong.
Stacks
If I can-
wood. Oh,
if I
you
can
think it's
chop
saying that?
bricks.
Oh, that you can
Yeah.
chop bricks.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's of
Maybe
course
some good
referring
tools
to
as well.
who said that?
DJ Jones. I
DJ
believe.
Jones.
DJ
of
Jones.
course,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what he was doing. Yeah,
Well, he was chopping wood and stacking bricks.
yeah.
Swanson's
Swanson's
stacking wood and chopping bricks. Different.
Yeah, I can
Got
do
it.
both.
That's because you're so strong. You can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So it's a compliment.
I think so.
People always like Swanson. Nobody makes fun of him.
Except us.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Paulie Vavoom wants to know what the Broncos are doing. Yeah, I said it. Paulie Vavoom. I got that one, I think.
Boom.
About not being able to hear the questions during press conferences. This is something we're aware
It's a
of.
hot topic.
It's hard to get this technology figured out. NASA was here last year trying to do it. But
They failed.
Yeah, they couldn't do it.
It's the tricky thing is that if you have it set up to hear the questions, and the audio at the podium can quickly go south.
Yes. In certain environments, like say it's a big press conference, an introductory in the big room, we can hear all the questions because there's microphones
or a
being passed
Monday
around.
presser in season or something, or a Zoom. You can hear all of them.
Yep, in the Zooms, in the press room, you can hear all of them because there's a microphone being passed around. The outside box is what is the difficulty here.
Yes. Well, and when our friend
It's a
Sean
little bit
Keeler
hard.
asks the question, you can hear it.
You can hear everything. They teach that in Northwestern, I heard,
They do.
Yeah.
I kind of mumble, though.
How to
I
scream.
apologize.
how to scream. So we're working on that. That's something that we are aware of and that we understand the frustrations.
Yeah.
Because if you watch them, you're like, what's going on?
Well, just you got to hold your ear really close to the mic,
Turn it
to the
way
speaker.
up and then turn it down. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when the coach starts talking, turn it down.
Brian Orlando, FL 3514.
Okay.
I think it's Orlando, Florida, I think. Kind of funny that Ben is wearing a Broncos shirt and you two, nope. Once again,
Same thing.
same thing. Yeah. That's because we try to keep it neutral,
Yep.
neutral zone.
Nice blue.
Swanson,
A nice
just doesn't
blue.
care. Yeah, nice blue is what we sort of try to do.
Blue.
Swanson, no. And then the last one here is from Caleb Penny, Cosser 2029. I like you guys, but you got to say yeah less. Do we say yeah too much?
I think
Yeah.
sometimes you get going, and I'm afraid to say anything except for yeah. And so I just kind of like, yeah.
Oh, because it's just so
Yeah.
on the money. It's like so accurate.
Yeah.
You agree 100%. You're like, yeah.
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 Yeah. I understand. Yeah. And he spelled it Y-U-H.
Oh, so
Yeah,
more of a
Ike.
yeah.
No, yeah.
Like how Ike's
Ike
Yeah.
out here?
Yeah.
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 Well, that should fill the quota.
Yeah.
We got all our yuhs in. And now we're going to get to our first topic on this
Yeah.
episode.
Thanks to all our listeners, especially
Yes, thank you very
Grantle.
much.
I think we went over the 15 minutes.
Lead better. Grantle.
You actually said Grantle on the air. That's amazing. Oh boy.
I mean, there's a lot of these. The YouTube handles aren't like actual names. They're like, I don't know. Maybe that's like from some like sort of fantasy movie that is like Grantled. You're like, oh yeah,
yeah.
Like Dune.
you know, yeah, something like that. You know. And I don't know about that. Sci-fi something.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of,
That's true. It could have been this, but I
interesting
don't think
noise.
it was.
you know, what if it's like a Dumbledore situation? You're like, you said Dumbledore in there? It's like, I thought that's what it was. So that is what it is. I hope that Grant Ledbetter or Grantled comments and he's just like, it is Grantled.
My name's Grantled Better.
Wouldn't you feel silly?
I would.
Yeah.
Grantled, if you're out there, just let us know.
What do you mean if? What happened to them? They're out there.
Well, Grant could be out there. We don't know if a Grantled. If your name is Grantled,
Okay, anybody named Grantled, please comment next week.
we'll read it right here on the air.
Yeah, maybe that's maybe an area in Northern Europe. There's a Grantled. That could be a name, right? No,
Maybe.
could be
You of course, earlier you were talking about the name Eve,
Eve.
and you asked if it was like Christmas Eve or like the Eve in a church.
Yeah, which some people might be named after.
That's EAVE is a classic name.
Yeah,
Wow.
that is classic.
Maybe somewhere out there there's a couple, Grantled and Eve, EAVE.
In my head, there are. So that's good enough, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Enough of that.
Well, let's get into our observations, Eric, from the first week of camp. It's been a few more days than a week, but what have you seen out on the field? What have you seen out there?
Well, they're working hard.
They are working hard. Last couple of days, they've been doing some red zone.
Red zone. Yep.
The defense has looked nice.
The defense has been good throughout camp. They are flying around. I think you see Vance Joseph's attacking style of defense on display. I think that they are a unit that certainly can be one of the better groups in the NFL. But I think just the intensity, certainly after last year's camp, stands out first and foremost. They went from their acclimation practices right into full pads on Monday, did 3 straight days. These have been long practices. They're doing 9-on-7 kind of run drills. They're doing one-on-ones. They're doing like special teams type tackling drills. They're not quite at live periods yet, but they are an added level of physicality. They're running sprints after practice. I mean, all of that just it lines up with what Sean Payton said is going to happen, and it's also very different than what we saw a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, the intensity, the tempo of practice, everybody seems to be like really engaged, sharp, paying attention, locked in, if you will. I think that it's normal for defenses to be ahead at the first week of training camps. And then the offense, once the playbook keeps, progressing, they catch back up a little bit. Alex Singleton, though, was asked on Thursday, hey, where's your confidence level in the defense right now? And he goes, I think we're going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they look pretty good, right?
They look pretty good. The red zone period, they've dominated those. I think that it's fair to I would use the domination.
Yeah.
That's the
word. The dominate use?
That kind of comes to mind. Yeah, dominate. But I don't think that that's necessarily a reason to overreact to anything at this point, because I tend to trust Sean Payton. And, he was asked like, hey, on Wednesday, he was like, hey, Russ has had better days, huh? That was sort of the question. And he said, hey, it's August 2nd. It's no big whoop.
No big whoop.
No big whoop.
Yeah.
And so he said that he's got confidence in Russ, and he's been pleased with the progress he's made, and I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, it's early, right? And we've got a lot of time before the season opener. We'll see what it looks like in preseason. One thing stood out to me from what Sean said Thursday when he said, I'm pleased with where Russell Wilson is at. I like what I've seen, is he mentioned the running game.
Oh, yeah.
And I mentioned this a little bit, Phil, on the Broncos Now.
What's that?
That, of course, you're on that podcast frequently.
I am?
Yeah.
Oh.
With your fellow team reporter, Sydney Jones.
Oh, fellow team reporter, Sydney Jones. Yeah.
But she asked a little bit about Russ and kind of where this offense is. And when Sean mentioned that.
She asked you about that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It occurred to me, or just kind of that point Sean made resonated with me about the running game and the impact that can have on a game.
In the red zone?
Well, he was just talking more generally on Thursday.
Oh, got it.
Because in a real football game, right, if you are running the ball consistently, it's wearing down a defense. It's keeping them on their toes. They've got to stack the box a little bit so it gets easier to throw the ball, hypothetically.
Opens things up. When you're in a practice setting and it's not a move the ball period and you're not running the ball for real, you're ready to defend the pass.
Yeah, you're ready to defend the pass, but you also don't have to worry about like getting beat on one play, because if you get beat, you just go to the next play. You just go to the next play. And so sometimes I think just the nature of a practice/training camp setup can benefit the defense, because you don't have to worry about getting beat over the top for, if you get beat, whatever, who cares? You're not actually giving up 7 points.
Yeah.
Or, you're not getting worn down by the run game. You're staying fresh. And so you can put a crazy pass rush on there. If you're in a real game and you've run the ball a lot and you have now picked up 2 or 3 first downs and the defense is starting to get tired, I think that's a time when offenses start to look a little bit better. And so that's one of the reasons why hearing Sean Payton talk about that, he kind of reminded everybody, this is not a real game.
Yeah.
And there are things that can happen in a game that will make this team look better offensively.
Yeah. And like Sean Payton, one of his many talents is play calling, keeping defenses off balance, with how he adjusts the flow of what the offense is doing and everything. So that element is removed in a practice setting. So, I just think it's normal for a defense to look good at this point. Now, it's sort of a conundrum, because you're like, well, if the defense is playing really good, is it because the defense is good or is it because the offense is bad? Vice versa. That's like your classic practice conundrum. And I understand that, like, look, Sean's not going to get up there and like blast anybody too. So like that might be your comment, is like, oh, well, what do you expect Sean to say? But I do think he's been very honest up there, and he's been giving his opinions. And when he says, hey, I've been pleased with what Russ is able to do, I think that he means it.
Yeah, I mean, he could get up there and say, yeah, we need to be better offensively.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's done that.
There are ways, and he mentioned that kind of toward the end. He was asked about giving advice versus keeping people's confidence up, and he kind of said, I'm not going to ever shy away from saying it how it is and providing critiques and feedback. And I'm sure in team meetings they're working on things. They want to be better at certain things. He's mentioned they're not going to run certain plays against an odd front defense like the Broncos have, or the way the secondary plays. And certainly when Russell Wilson is throwing the ball down the field, he's not going to play many secondaries this year that are as good as ones that have Pat Surtain and Justin Simmons back there. But I just think overall there have been moments where the offense has made its plays. And, you know, a lot of these team periods, Phil, Russ is getting 4 reps, right? And then he's not getting many more reps until the next team period 10 to 15 minutes later. So there's not the same rhythm that you would get in a game. There's not necessarily you're trying to, and certainly coaches like Sean are trying to simulate a game as much as they possibly can, but you can't do it completely. And so I'm interested to see when you get to the preseason and the offense plays a little bit, what does it look like then if if in a game, assuming at some point they play a quarter or two, if they go out there and go 3 and out every time, then you're probably a little more concerned. But at this point, I'm not, would it be great to go see a day where the offense goes out there and lights it up? Sure. And that could still happen.
Be coming.
But I'm not necessarily freaking out that it hasn't happened yet.
And Sean has hinted that like next week, some of these things might be coming up. He said there's going to be like some end of the game situations, where the kickers are facing some elements of stress there. And then, he said some move the balls coming up. So
2-minute tomorrow on Friday, I think.
So that's why you need to do your observations.
That's what I need to do.
It's going to be a very big observation day that day. So I think that, just reading comments and stuff out there, people are like, ooh, what's going on with Russ? And I think that that's natural because everybody's sort of saying, look, I think that this offense could be really good. I'm interested to see what Sean can do with Russ. That's sort of like, I think, a big narrative around the Broncos is what is Sean going to be able to do for Russ? And so people want to know, hey, how's that looking right now? And when the defense has been having so much success, people are starting to get a little worried, but Sean is not.
Well, and listen, when there's interceptions, which there's been a decent number of, people start to worry a little bit. But at least through this point in camp, I don't think there were as many interceptions last year, and that didn't work out. That didn't work out very well. I think back to 2018, Case Keenum didn't throw an interception all of training camp, I don't think, maybe one.
Yeah, exactly.
And that didn't work out all that well. I mean, training camp is the time to try to fit. Now, not every interception is created equally, and some are better than others, but now is the time to figure out what works and try to fit things in. And so, even last year when Russ struggled, it's not like he threw 20 interceptions. It was still a lowish, 13 around there. I mean, you want it to be lower, below 10, but it wasn't like he was throwing 2 or 3 picks a game.
11.
So, 11. I mean, So the interceptions, I don't know that people seem to be like I tweeted, Justin Simmons has a pick for the 3rd consecutive day. People are acting like the sky is falling.
That's true. But it's Justin Simmons.
Right.
And it's kind of what he does.
And I know that certain outlets have to perpetuate excitement from camp, right? And so it's not fun to go say, let's see what happens, or take it day by day, or just be patient. But
I think the bigger thing to me is just, hey, how's he grasping the offense? Does it seem like he's under control up there? Does he know where he wants to go with the ball? Is the installation going well? Those types of things are more of what's important, I think, at this point. And then by all accounts, that area is going well.
Yeah, and we'll again, see. I do think you're right with the overall message of you've brought Sean Payton here to help things offensively. You trust in what he's doing. 7 practices should not change that.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And
exactly.
So let's just relax a little bit. Let everybody calm down, and we'll see how things go over the next month. I mean, September 10th it's August 3rd as we're recording this. You got more than a month to go, 5 weeks before this matters.
And let's see what happens in the preseason games.
Yeah, of course.
Preseason football starts tonight at the Hall of Fame game. And then a week from Friday, the Broncos will be playing in their first preseason game. So let's see what happens in a more of a game situation.
And we have no idea yet how much they're going to play in that game. We'll have a better idea.
Javonte Williams is going to be playing in some preseason.
Yes.
Doesn't know for sure if that'll be this one, second one, whatever. But
let's just let things play out a little bit. And Listen, it's hard. I mentioned the 4 snaps in terms of getting in a rhythm. It's hard if you only see Russ throw 8 passes in a practice to not overreact to one of those throws,
One
right?
of them, yeah.
Or 2 of them, or make sweeping generalizations.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's guilty of it, you know. I'll see a 7-on-7 period start where Russ throws 3 passes and say, oh, Russ had a really strong start to practice. And then 2 periods later, he's only thrown 4 more passes. And you're like, oh, well, maybe not as great of a practice.
Yeah.
Well, we're judging this based off 7 total throws.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like we're watching Russ throw the ball 30 times during a practice and making an observation based on that.
Yeah, like in a 7-on-7 situation or team situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I agree with that. One other observation just for the 1 week is that the Broncos have really struggled with some injuries here, you know, and that had been a huge priority for the team in trying to minimize some of these things happening. But it does feel like the Tim Patrick and the Jonas Griffith, those are 2 things that are sort of fluky. You know, I mean, even Sean Payton said, look, the Tim Patrick, that was a fluky thing. Somebody asked, hey, is it the grass? Are you looking into the grass? Like, what's going on? You know, like, he was like, no, all the surfaces are the same. It's
because they practice on a different field on Thursday than those injuries happened on.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
why that was asked.
Yeah. But he was like, no, that's not got anything to do with it. You know, Tim Patrick, it looked like he slipped. And, you know, he went down and we know what happened there. And then Jonas Griffith was doing a special teams drill, and Sean Payton said that he stepped on a foot.
Yeah, or a foot stepped on him.
Or a foot stepped on him.
One foot stepped
Something
on another
happened with
foot.
a foot. Yeah. And so, boom, ACL.
Listen, it's a bummer, right? And especially Tim and Jonas too, because he missed a lot of last year.
Let's rank the injuries. Which one is worse?
You're crazy. I feel bad for both guys equally. But I mean, injuries are going to happen. Like, you talk about Bo Lowry and him coming in. Like, if you thought that no season-ending injuries were going to happen or nobody was going to miss time, that's just not the case, right? I mean, you hope that you can delay it as much as possible. You hope it's not to a critical guy. You hope that you can, you know, maybe have 10 season-ending injuries instead of 20. I mean, the margins here are what make a difference, and so you hope that with as much emphasis as they put on strength and conditioning and that sort of thing, that it ends up helping out. But listen, they're going to miss Tim and Jonas for sure, but the depth at wide receiver is much better than it was. I mean, I feel, you know, have a guy like Marvin Mims there now as your third option.
Yeah.
You feel comfortable about that, I think. And, you know, you drafted Drew Sanders, and he's a guy that I think you were going to try to get out there anyway.
It's a quick study, Sean Payton said.
Yeah, and so they're going to be okay here. I mean, it's always tough when you lose guys, and you feel bad for those guys, and you, of course, want them out there. But knock on wood, this hasn't been a crippling injury, in my opinion.
And, I don't think no amount of preventative work would have prevented those 2 injuries.
No.
I know words.
Yeah.
Came up with those 2 right there. But I think that like hamstrings, you know, those types of things, the soft tissue, those are the types of things that the Broncos have struggled with in the past, and that's been a priority. And Sean Payton said that, look, they think about everything in terms of how much activity the players are doing leading up to certain drills that they're working on out there. So, you know, they are being more smart about it. They're being smarter about it. I am on fire today. They're being smarter about it than they have in the past, it feels like. But they also lost
Riley Moss
with a core muscle operation. That's
repair.
I do some core repair every morning, you know, 500 crunches, you know.
Yeah, 1,000.
Some planks, yeah, you know. Some side planks, you know.
You do the Ron Burgundy in there?
Yeah, exactly. The burn. I do core muscle operation every morning. I guess he just started doing
I guess he just started.
Yeah. So, but that one, you're like, dang.
Oh, he'll be back.
Yeah.
4-week
and they brought
injury.
in Foster Moreau.
Fabian
Moreau. Who's Foster Moreau? I feel like that's
played for the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They did not
They didn't bring
Correction
him.
did not bring him in.
Any relation?
Don't think so.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't think so? But is there? Well, what about actual?
I'm pretty sure not.
Got it. Pretty sure.
Any relation to Grantold?
Huh? No? Okay, I guess not.
Time for some standouts?
And surprises. Let's
And
move on to
surprises.
topic number 2 here. Standouts and surprises. Eric, you go first.
I think Justin Simmons is the top standout, right?
Not a surprise.
No, not a surprise, but a standout.
Very different.
He, I think, 4 interceptions already. He's around the ball. He's made some good plays. And I don't know if I think the most impressive one was he undercut a route to Cortland Sutton one day that would have been a pick six in a game. And a lot of the times, Phil, Justin is in the right place and the ball kind of
Just the easy ones.
the easy ones. You like
Come
those.
straight at
They
him.
find him. He hauls him in. He gets interceptions
He's got like a little magnet underneath his
jersey.
Yeah, in the pads.
where the mic'd up pack would go.
Exactly. He can never be mic'd up because of the magnet.
magnet.
He's like, I got that magnet. In
Yeah.
there. I can't do it.
I got that magnet in me.
Forget the dog. I got a magnet.
But that particular play, he cut on it. He read it. It was an attacking type of play.
Yeah.
That's a good sign,
Yeah.
I think. And he's going to have a chance to make a lot of plays this year. And he's, I think, playing as well as he ever has.
I agree. I mean, he's really anytime he's out there, he's making plays. So a lot of interceptions so far. I think you said 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, he's been a standout. Sean Payton said that Cortland Sutton's been a standout, too.
Yeah.
You mentioned the one-handed catch there, and while the offense overall hasn't really stood out, but Cortland Sutton, he says that they went back and they watched film from him in 2019 when he had his great season, and Sean Payton said that they're starting to see signs of that Cortland Sutton in practice so far this training camp. So he would be another standout, I think.
Yeah, certainly so he got his injury in 2020, right?
That's when he got it.
Came back in
he received
2020.
his injury then. Yeah.
Suffered. He came back in 2021, and I think, kind of had to work back into things. Last year, I think he put himself in position to make more of those plays, the contested plays down the field that we're used to Cortland making.
Yeah.
And drew some pass interference calls, but I don't know that he
did some pass interference too himself, I think.
technically.
Oh, technically.
Bad call. But he didn't haul in as many of those passes as we're kind of used to seeing. I think the encouraging thing about this training camp is that he's now catching those passes, right?
Yeah.
And there's been 2 or 3 plays down the field already where Surtain and Simmons are right there. It's a contested catch. He's going up and making the play, getting both feet in bounds. And so now you've gone from returning from injury to putting yourself in position, but not necessarily finishing the play, to being back to that point where you finish the play, you make that big catch. And, if he can, those are game-changing plays, right? Or emotion, momentum, swinging type plays. If he can do that more often, that's the best of Cortland Sutton, right?
Yeah,
that's the
that's what
best
he's here to
version
do.
of him. And then you pair that with a Jerry Jeudy. Now you're talking.
Now you're talking.
So, Cortland has definitely caught my eye here over the first week of practice.
And then my defensive standout, I think, might be in addition to Justin Simmons. Zach Allen has really, I don't know if you put him in the surprise category. The way the Broncos went out and got him in free agency, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a surprise. They thought that this guy's capable of this, but he's really been in the backfield a lot.
He has. Yeah. I mean, whether it's pass plays, run plays, he's been
back
active, getting his hands up, putting pressure on the
passes.
quarterback. Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily by him, but just overall.
And,
That stood out too.
Yeah.
A lot of batted.
But Zach's had a strong training camp too. He's been good.
He has been nice. Yeah, he's been good. Some people are calling him J.J. Watt 2.0, I think.
Who called him that?
Some people have been seeing
Some,
it. I've
not
been
us,
seeing
but
it.
some.
I wouldn't say some.
No.
I've just been seeing
That's a lot of hype.
I've been seeing it, yeah. Anybody else on the offensive side that has stood out? Erica, those are sort of the main.
I would say
So
those
three guys.
those three guys have stood out to me.
Standouts. But we've also have some surprises.
We have some surprises too, which is nice.
Swanson, you got any
Oh,
standouts?
sorry.
What have you been?
No.
What stood out is maybe the lighting on some of your. I mean, you've been using some flash, I think, out there.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
really
think
stood
people
out.
want to hear about that, do they?
Oh well,
I don't.
no.
I figured.
But it's been looking nice. Photo galleries. You ever
Yeah.
check out a photo gallery
Every day.
Yeah,
Good
nice.
stuff.
I did see a photo where Russell Wilson and Sean Payton were in the same
I heard that never
shot
happened.
together. No, it
rare.
happened. It's rare. It's like kind of like when
We've been
At
on
least
the
during
hunt
the
for this
shooting
photograph
period.
for
Yeah.
years.
During the shooting periods, we're
Yeah.
allowed to shoot. That is
You know-
rare.
As
you
soon
know-
as the shooting period ends, they just hang out together the whole time.
like those Planet Earth docs. Then they go out into and then they set up the camera and then they just wait. They just wait. Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, we've never seen something like this." Yeah, you got.
What's that guy's name?
That's. I think you're doing a Steve Irwin.
No. The David Attenborough.
Oh yeah, tremendous voice.
Yeah,
Yeah, he should do some
R.I.P.
podcast. Oh, did he pass?
I thought so.
Oh, I don't know.
Swanson.
Look it up.
Gosh, but it's kind of like that when Swanson's out there. He's like, "Oh,
Looks like he's still with
Oh,
us.
thank
he's still
goodness.
with us, yeah.
Perfect. I was worried.
jumped the
97.
gun." Whoa.
Oh, so he's up there.
Yeah. But that's kind of like what it's like with Sean and Russ in the same photo. Up until now, you're like, have I ever seen those two in the same photo? Like, what if?
They're the same person.
Makes you think.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. All right, some surprises, Eric?
Yeah. You want to start or you want me to
Well,
start?
I think that Jaleel McLaughlin has been sort of the...
Okay.
he's been like, everybody's talking about him. Very excited about the speed that he brings. Youngstown State, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't even have a roster in front of me. I just know that
Wow.
kind of information.
He's got good speed.
Some people are thinking that he would be a nice addition to the power of Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine. Maybe a change of pace kind of back.
Thunder and lightning.
He's had some bursts through some holes out at training camp. You can't really tell too much out there because it's not, even when they have the pads on, it's not like, I think those holes kind of close faster in a game. You know what I mean? But he has had some nice explosive moves, and a lot of people have been talking about him, including me. So I'll put myself in that.
Okay.
one, too.
No, he's looked good.
He's no
And,
surprise, I think.
Tyler Batty, Tony Jones, those are some of the guys that kind of he has to compete against to earn a roster spot. Preseason is going to have a
Yeah.
heavy weight on that battle, obviously, but he has stood out. He's done a nice job.
I would say in a normal situation, your third back really doesn't get that many carries.
No.
But with Javonte Williams coming back from injury, that third spot might be in play a little bit more than a typical situation.
And if he,
It's possible.
with a guy with his speed, you just might want to find ways to get him out there
Couple
for
touches,
5 plays a game, something like that, and just find a way to get him the ball, see if he can break one. I was going to say, and obviously a big name player, but I've been shocked at how good Javonte Williams looks.
Oh, yeah, that too.
We talked about him potentially when he suffered this injury, not being back at all for the 2023 season. Was it going to be midway through the year? And then we heard, he's not going to be on PUP.
Yeah. You were still skeptical, weren't you?
Well, I've kind of spent the offseason thinking whatever they get from Javonte is going to be a bonus, and I didn't know how great he was going to look. Man, he's running hard. He's cutting hard. He looks just like he did before the injury.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. Like, this guy suffered a crazy injury and is just back to exactly how he was before, not even 10 months. I mean, I think as we're recording this, it's about 10 months to the day that this injury happened, and he looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
have you seen the knee?
no,
I mean, maybe
Up
it's
close?
a robot.
Oh,
knee,
you're saying,
that
that's
they
true.
put on there, If
possible.
you're saying it's unbelievable, maybe they did something.
You see these guys come back from ACL, knee injuries, and it takes them time to look the same. And Javonte just
He looks good,
the same.
Yeah. I hope that they're, and it sounds like they're going to be, just smart about, let's, in terms of like the reps that he's getting in the preseason, or, he had like a sort of a day
Maintenance
off.
day, yeah.
A maintenance, maintenance. But he was still in pads, huh?
Yeah.
He put him on just to be out there?
I think so.
Just in case.
With his guys.
Yeah, with his guys, yeah. But yeah, I agree, Eric. And I think that fans are very interested in like what's going on with Javonte. So if he's healthy, he's going to be a big part of this offense, and like he'll be ready to rock week 1, hopefully. So
yeah, I mean, at this point, you would, barring a setback, knock on wood, you'd be shocked if he's not the main guy week 1, carrying a pretty big workload.
Yeah. Another surprise to me maybe is just how good Caden Stearns has looked as well.
Okay,
We've talked a lot about that safety position and what's going on with him and Kareem. We've heard from both of them so far, and both have said, hey, the other guy is going to play a big part of this defense. So it's not like it's like a big competition between those two, like on a personal level,
Right.
Like they each, it seems like, have a lot of respect for each other. But I will say that Caden has come in. He looks bigger to me, like just like a lot, just more physical presence out there. And he seems to be like just moving more like smooth or something out there is what I would say. Is like his footwork looks nice. He's moving around well. And I think that that's been good to see, considering the injuries that he's had and all the talk heading into camp about him. He seems to be taking it as seriously as we hoped that he would.
Yeah, no, he's a good football player, and we'll have to see how that all works out. I'm interested to see how they work Caden and Kareem in.
Yeah,
and
something to continue to watch throughout the rest of camp.
Oh, for sure. So. The guy for me, and it's kind of two guys at the same position, but the outside linebackers, the reserve depth there, Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonito, I think, have both looked good at times. Cooper kind of at the start of camp, and he's continued that on, but
Bonito the last
2 or 3 days has looked like he's taken a big step forward.
You talked to him.
I talked to him earlier Thursday. We'll have an article out this weekend.
What a tease. I cannot wait to read that.
But I think he's just more comfortable this year, and he's added a little bit of weight. But I think one of the important things that I got from that conversation was Vance Joseph told him, you don't need to change who you are, what your play style is. You might not be the guy that's going to set the edge every time. But we've seen Nick Bonito make plays in the run game by dipping beneath an offensive tackle, and he's got that bend where they can't get a hand on him. And so he's starting to, and listen, last year against the Cowboys, he had that big practice where media outlets declared that he had 17 sacks on the day. And
17, yeah, I think that's right.
It was just like the best practice that anyone in the history of the NFL
I've never seen
had.
a practice like this.
So I caution against putting too much into a single practice, but Nick's looked good the last few days. I think he's starting to come into his own a little bit, and I'll be really interested to see in the preseason, especially kind of can he continue that step moving forward, because he's a guy that they obviously used their first pick on a year ago.
Yeah.
Faced expectations, probably didn't have the rookie season he was hoping to have. And then he's kind of flown under the radar here, Phil. We've talked about Frank Clark a lot, Baron Browning, Randy Gregory. Nick Bonito hasn't gotten as much attention or love, and I know that he is aware of that and is using that to fuel him. So
you kind of forget about it.
He's a talented guy. He's got to put it together, but the talent is still there. So if they can get something out of him, it's almost like a bonus.
His position coaches coached him at Oklahoma.
Yep.
So maybe that even helps, just some familiarity there.
Yeah. That coach is...
That's his position coach from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That's what I just said that.
Right.
Yeah.
His name?
His name is the position coach that he had at Oklahoma.
That's a long name.
Yeah. I looked it up the other day.
Yeah.
Did he change it when he got the job? Or?
Yeah, that's when he changed it. Yeah.
Okay, otherwise, calling your shot.
What's his name, Swanson?
Jamar Kane.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That sounds
Sorry,
right.
that was rude
sounds
of me.
right.
I apologize.
No. I think you detected that in the way I said it, and then you attacked. That's good. That's smart. You saw the blood in the water.
Yeah.
And you went for the kill.
You can sense the fear.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah. I knew you would detect that. And I was just trying to make a nice point.
Yep.
And you went after me. That's fair. It's fair. I should have been ready for that. I should have been ready for that.
You got a surprise player on Defense? Or did you already do
Well,
that?
I said the Caden Stearns.
Okay,
Yeah, I said
Stearns.
Caden
I'm not
Stearns.
even. I'm just wrapped
I'm
up in my
blanking
own.
on this guy's first name, but Grimes, the wide receiver. What's his first name? Taylor Grimes.
Yeah.
He's made a couple of plays out there, so much so that his name's popped up in some press conferences.
So here's what I'll
Jerry?
say.
Okay, you say it.
Yeah. Listen, Taylor Grimes has made plays, and
This happens a lot in training camp.
Yes, it does. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, yeah. This kind of thing happens a lot.
He is out of Incarnate Word.
Excuse me?
Small school. Division 3, Swanson?
Is it incarnate or incarnate?
It's kind of, same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Tomato, incarnate,
Yeah, of
incarnate.
course, yeah. You really just call it whatever you want.
I call it IW.
This one says
IW.
Division 1 FCS.
Oh, FCS. Okay.
IW.
But you're right. This happens every year where a wide receiver or running back, someone who touches the ball a lot,
Yep.
gets a lot of attention.
A little bit of attention.
And then what happens is the coach or a player does not bring this person up themselves.
They get asked about it.
They get asked about it. So
They
the
say
coach
something
or
nice.
a player gets asked about Taylor Grimes, and I don't want to pick on
You're
Taylor. But
blasting him, huh?
no.
Okay, go ahead.
He's had some nice
keep
plays.
going.
This is more of a blast of the media.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Somebody
yeah.
will say, "Oh, what do you think about Taylor Grimes?" And then the players asked
Very
about
nice,
it. Says, "Oh,
respectful.
yeah, Taylor's had a great camp. He's done a really good job."
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he has.
Yeah.
He's made some plays out there.
Yeah.
But then the next press conference, that same reporter says, "A lot of people have been talking about Taylor Grimes."
Yeah, Jerry Judy.
said
was
that
saying
Taylor
this
Grimes
guy's-
has had a great
yeah.
camp. What do you think? And then they
Keeps
say,
building.
"Oh, yeah."
Ooh, it keeps building.
And then before you know it, there's this mountain of praise for this guy who is, I'm sure a good player, maybe a practice squad candidate, maybe has an amazing training camp in preseason and somehow
Grimes'
finds
team has been doing a good job
finds a-
building him up. Yeah, it's just slow.
Well, it's not.
He's
It's
been
not just
stacking
Taylor
bricks
Grimes.
in the
It's like
media.
every year somebody.
It happens all the time.
That's
yeah.
what happened with who was the Kyle Sloter when he was here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just have guys that
Lobby
you get
for him.
asked about, and then you say, "Oh, this person said this," and it's like, no, that was a media created narrative.
You get paid to ask about Grimes.
Well, I
All
mean,
of the
in
money.
training camp, you want to be the guy to find somebody who nobody else has noticed, or to
Yeah,
find
I
a good
discovered this
story.
guy. I was first on
Yeah,
it.
and sometimes it just gets a little too much. Like let's see what, like Brandon Johnson, for example, last year went out and
Same
proved it in the preseason. Well, no, but he went
But
out.
his hype was building
Yeah,
and
but
building
he
and
went out
building.
and proved it in the preseason and had a really good performance. He would have made the roster.
Got hurt a little.
Yeah, he got hurt and did not make the 53. But I think people who were a little bit more responsible maybe waited until they saw
Yes.
that performance. If Taylor Grimes goes out there and catches 2 touchdowns and has 6 catches in the preseason, I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, he's not
Yeah.
doing a great job." But
Yeah.
some of these things, every year there's like a fan favorite
Yes.
wide receiver or running back, and it just gets a little bit off the rails a little bit too soon.
Yes. So you're pumping the brakes on the Grimes.
Just not,
I think it's fine to
not
pump the brakes.
Just the
Slow it down a little.
The Grimes Industrial Complex.
Yeah.
We'll call it. You want to call
Yeah,
it that?
that's good. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Swanson. You think of other guys that this has happened to?
One guy is Jordan Taylor. That happened a little bit
Yeah,
back
Jordan
in. He made
Taylor.
like a crazy catch.
Like
Then
D'Angelo
all of a sudden
Henderson.
the
I feel
hype
like that
became
happened with
big.
him.
This happens a lot. And then like
It's
a
like
guy.
Camp Darling.
Yes.
Trinity Benson.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's who I
George
was gonna
Stoya, our friend of the podcast, was writing odes to Trinity Benson.
Yes. This happens a lot because they'll like in a one-on-one situation, they'll like make a big move and everybody's like, "Ooh," and the crowd's like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Who is that?"
Right, like Taylor Grimes the other day, I believe it was him, caught a pass against Justin Simmons in a one-on-one drill where Justin's playing 15 yards off.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Taylor Grimes beats Justin Simmons in a one-on-one." And you're just, I'm sitting there like, am I taking crazy pills?
No.
I think
But-
the other part of it is that like every team's got one of these guys.
Yes.
Yes, there's a lot of them. Yes.
That's,
yes.
I mean, that's a different, we'll get to that closer to roster, but
Yeah.
like everyone's like,
Yes.
"Oh, is this guy going to make it through waivers to the practice squad?"
Yeah, you
Like,
kind of
every
fall in
team
love
has
with this
3
guy.
of these guys that
Yeah.
they know and they want to keep because they know their playbook.
Yes.
And there's just this media creation of, oh my, there's no way they're going to sneak X player through to the practice
Yes.
squad.
But it's good for Grimes though to
Yeah,
have this kind
listen,
of
that's
going,
great.
and he has had like
Better
a
than
couple.
not being noticed.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying.
true.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
That's true.
You know, so it did seem like the other day I saw in a one-on-one, he made a nice little double move and had a nice catch, and
He's made,
makes you just
listen,
sort of think
I-
about it a little bit.
I don't
but
want to go after
agree.
the guy. Like, he's made
Yes.
some good plays. And think for him, right? Like he played at an FCS school. You're coming here for the Denver Broncos, an NFL team. You're making plays in training camp. That's awesome.
You're feeling good.
Yeah.
But it also happens to be that he plays at the deepest position on this team. And you know, I'm not saying that he's going to make the team or he's going to be this or that, but he's been a nice little surprise.
I mean, he's got like a path to the roster for any of these guys is you've got to assume that Cortland, Jerry, Marvin make the roster, right?
Even Montreal Washington has had a couple of nice little moments.
Montreal Washington's made some good plays.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got Montreal Washington, Brandon Johnson, Jalen Virgil, Taylor Grimes, a little Jordan Humphrey, Marquez Callaway. There's a lot of dudes there. Nick Williams is back. Michael Bandy. I mean, there's a lot of guys there that you're going to have to compete against. And a lot of the times, if you are this training camp success story, you spend a year on practice squad, and then maybe you push for a roster spot the next year.
Maybe later in the year.
I forgot Kendall Hinton. That's a guy that is going to push for a spot. I mean, a lot of guys
it's the deepest
there.
spot on the team.
So it's fun. I hope he has a great camp, and he's done well so far. But I just
Hard Knocks always finds one of these guys,
exactly,
and then they do a whole long thing.
Like
and
that Kajus guy in was that Arizona or where was that?
Yeah, I think Kajus was Cowboys,
Tampa,
right? No,
he had the rocks.
Oh yeah,
kind of like me and Swanson with our game day magazines.
Yeah,
but you're like, oh, this guy has to make the team, right?
Yeah,
and then it's hard to make. Nice. It's hard to make an NFL football team.
Really hard. Yes.
So,
but
he's made.
He
plays.
falls under the category of surprise, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
He not standout, but surprise.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Some other guys. Let's see.
I think Drew Sanders has progressed nicely.
Yeah.
Made some good plays. Trying to think who else. Ben DiNucci, I think, has looked pretty decent there at the third quarterback spot.
Every year, the fans love him.
Well, sure. That's, I just blast the wide receiver thing, and then I praise the third string quarterback. That's a classic, too.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I think that that's just sort of what is intriguing about this next week in camp and then like through the preseason games is like, hey, how's this guy who's like not really ever going to play unless there's injury or something else? How do they look? You know, they do a nice job. Can they make this squad? You know, that's sort of what this time of year is about.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up Julio McLaughlin, right? Like if he breaks a 60-yard touchdown run in one of these preseason games,
he's a guy who could make the team and be a player.
And that's that does a lot to help his case.
Yeah.
But if he goes out there and he's getting tackled for a loss, a fumble,
missed block,
going down on first contact, that sort of thing.
Yep.
That hurts him, obviously. So those are the types of guys that have a lot to gain and lose from these preseason games. And also, he's going to get more reps, or more chances to make a play, I would assume, than going back to our guy Taylor Grimes, for example. He might only get 2 or 3 targets.
Yeah,
because there's so many wide receivers, whereas you could see McLaughlin getting 6, 7, 8 carries probably, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
He's going to get a chance, I would think, to make a name for himself.
One thing that Sean Payton has said over and over is, hey, it doesn't matter how you got here. Now that you're here, we like whoever plays best.
Right.
They're going to make this team. So, and he's said many times, the worst thing that could happen is that you have a guy in your camp, you let him go, and then they turn out to be a player for a different team. So,
yeah. I mean, on the Chiefs, Taylor Grimes would catch 10 touchdowns.
Of course he would. Yeah. That's what happens then. They draft anybody, draft somebody in the 7th round, boom, they're making plays in the Super Bowl.
One other guy that's caught my eye from a surprise standpoint, Adam Troutman.
Oh, he's had a nice.
He when they traded for him, I was kind of like, oh, we'll see what happens. Maybe there's a second or third tight end, and Sean Payton made a comment like, we're not declaring anybody the starter, and I was like, oh, that's nice to say, but it's going to be Greg Dulcich, and Troutman's gotten a lot of work and has made a lot of plays, and I think he's going to be a pretty significant contributor on this football team.
It'll be interesting because I do think that Dulcich and Troutman are going to get like the catches. Manhurts is going to be there blocking. I'm interested. This is going to be a big camp for Alberto.
Yeah. Do they keep 3 tight ends? Do they keep 4?
Yeah, that is going to be interesting to just sort of see how that progresses, unfolds throughout the preseason.
A guy to watch. This is way deep cut. This is a deep cut. You've never even heard this name before.
Oh yeah,
Nate Atkins.
Yeah,
he has made some tremendous blocks.
He of course is famous for his diet.
Yeah.
But he's also
a good football
making some
player.
blocks, huh?
And obviously, the Broncos have Michael Burton at fullback, but Nate Atkins' ability to block, and he's just punished some guys.
Yeah.
You wonder if there's a way to make room for him, or if he's a practice squad type candidate, another undrafted rookie. But yeah, he's had some blocks here. I've been like, dang, that guy can hit.
Sean loves those guys.
Yeah.
He even talking about the wide receivers today, he was just like, we obviously like big guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, he does sort of favor these big physical type of players all across the roster. I mean, it's just
Everywhere.
like every guy is like just getting bigger and bigger. Who's the didn't they bring an offensive lineman who's like 6'7" this week?
Yasir Durant
Yeah.
came in, and then he got hurt.
Oh. Big got hurt. But they like the big now. I think they like the size. Yeah.
6'7".
Yeah.
Almost as tall as you.
Big. Almost. Yeah. Just under McGlinchey, but yeah. Anybody else, Eric? Or
I
that's
don't
sort of
think
where
so. I
that's a
think
good sort
That's
of a
like
list
if you
right
give
there.
too many out, then it's like nobody's really surprised you.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole team. Yeah, really.
Yeah, the
It's
whole
nice.
team's been a nice
I like
surprise.
that. Good hedge there.
Yeah.
I think those are a couple of guys. If I was just listening to this, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to like check these guys out against Arizona and see what they do.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good list.
And I'm sure
I would
Taylor
say.
Grimes will go out and catch 3 touchdowns, and I'll look stupid.
Yeah, or from Danucci.
Yeah, and I'll look
it'd be-
smart.
Yeah, so it'll all work out.
That's the other thing, too. Just if you come out to practice, don't tweet this because you're not allowed to, but watch who these players practice with, right? Because,
Yeah, of course.
Because
gives you a better idea.
Jaleel McLaughlin, for example, he's having a good camp, but you got to watch, is he doing this with the first team, with the second team, with
Yes.
the third team? When they start shifting guys around in terms of who they're practicing with, it starts to give you
They want to look.
a better sense of where they stand in the coach's eyes, because
Yeah,
it's one thing to look great going against a fourth string corner. It's another thing to look good if you're going up against Damari Mathis, if you're a receiver, or Pat
Yes.
Surtain. And so that's something, that tends to happen a little bit later in camp, where you're making these like lineup changes. But that's something, if you come out to camp, keep an eye on that. You might see a guy make a great catch. Well, who is he doing it against? Or you might see a guy pick somebody off. Well, which quarterback was it? You know, those things are important context.
yeah. And sometimes they bounce like certain like position, like they'll have like the inside linebackers. They'll swap out the first guys with the second guys, and then just sort of see what that mix looks like.
Right.
Sometimes they'll do that a little bit too. So, yeah, it's fun out at practice though, wouldn't you say?
It is fun.
It's been a little bit hot, a little bit warm.
Toasty.
The sun sort of is just right. It's at
Soaks into you.
It's at an angle where you're just sort of Now, of course, we like to get a little bit of sun.
You know, a little tan.
Yeah, a little golden hue.
Bronze.
Yeah, really, sort of a bronze.
Nice.
Yeah. Swanson doesn't like that.
No.
You got the hat.
They just camp in the
You
woods.
got the sunscreen.
Yep.
We
Lot of
all wear sunscreen, of course. But Swanson's SPF 88. It's just as like sludge. It's like sort of like more of like a paste. It's like one of your paints.
Why that number?
I don't know. I just picked a bit high
picked
number.
the high number.
Yeah, SPF 90.
Yeah, 90. Okay.
Don't be weird.
Yeah. So SPF 90. Yeah.
Should we
Okay.
get some
You
shout
want
outs
any
before
shout outs?
Swanson?
Yeah, let's get to some shout outs. Swanson, shout out?
D-Ware. Going in the hall.
That's true.
This is where he separates himself from the little kids.
Yeah, the boys get separated from the little kids.
Yeah.
He had some really funny sound bites.
Yeah. I seem to remember the last podcast you said you were going to come prepared with some of his best sound bites.
Oh, yeah. Let's roll that now.
Jim hit it.
Yeah, hit it. Yeah, what else did he had some other funny ones. I remember one training camp, he was a little bit injured, and he said, it'll be all right. Like, pretty soon I'll be 94%.
Yeah.
And then it took reporters a little second to be like, well, and then he's like, I'll be 94%. And then everybody was like, ah!
I don't remember it taking any time.
Well, the reaction wasn't immediate. Nobody was like, ah.
He, of course, had the Vaughn where he said 94 is 9 plus 4 is 13. 58 is 5 plus 8 is 13. So they basically were the same number.
Yeah. That's nice. That's deep.
It's true. It's good. It's math. And it's real.
We were like, what do you think it was like when they figured that out? Like, whoa. Yeah. Yeah, that's math. It's real. It's science. Yeah. Yeah, he had some funny ones. He liked to joke around with the media like that, like, oh, hey, how's your arm feeling? And then he'd be like, you want to find out?
Yeah.
Like he
likes
that was a
Like,
good joke from
yeah,
him. Yeah.
You want me to tackle you right now?
I'll tackle you right now.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. That was funny. And and he also wore that onesie.
The onesie.
Sort of like some ski sunglasses kind of thing.
Goggles.
They weren't really goggles. They were like sunglasses. They were like big, huge sunglasses. I don't think they were good goggles.
Huh. I thought they
We'll
were
have to check the
reflective
video.
goggles, but
I'll
I
have to
could be
check
wrong.
the video. Yeah.
Well, you can just see in this package we roll right now.
Rolling right now.
Unless you're
Any other
listening.
shout outs?
Shout out to Drew Lock.
Yeah,
the
former Bronco
Broncos
Q.
quarterback.
Having a kid?
Yeah, you know.
A baby boy, I think, right?
Yeah. Come on, baby boy.
Put that shirt on. Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations to him and
Congratulations
his
to
wife.
Drew.
Yeah, to Drew. Any other? I mean,
Was Gerald's.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'll shout out Sean Payton. I enjoyed his little quip the other day. He was asked about
A
Justin
what?
Simmons. A quip.
Quip.
He was asked
quip.
about Justin Swimmins. That's what if he's ever in the pool. If he's in the pool, he's Justin Swimmins. That's pretty good.
That was pretty good. We'll have to remember that one.
Yeah, for all those times where with Justin at the pool.
Yeah. You could go up to him. Hey, Justin, I got a good one for you. If you ever take your
You
kids
need an
swimming or
IG
anything.
caption?
Yeah.
Justin Swimmins. He was asked about Justin Simmons, not when he's not in the pool.
Yeah.
And he said some nice things about Justin. And then he said he's also pretty good at blocking PATs.
Yeah.
Which was a little callback
Remember
to
that,
the 2016 win.
Saints over the Saints.
Justin Simmons, Will Parks, Trevor Siemian.
Yeah.
So
He also said that you should wear white cleats, and if you're not,
white tape.
White tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't forget those kind of things.
No,
Sean.
probably not quite over that one.
No.
But
He remembers. He can recall things from years past in specific games. It's pretty unbelievable.
I mean, I remember that one too, right?
Well, yes, but I'm saying just in general, he recalls a lot of different scenarios.
That's true.
So do we. But his seem more impressive because
That's true because they're correct normally.
yeah, they're correct. They're accurate, and they he's not prepared for them. Like somebody just asked him a question about something, boom, it's
He's like, oh, I played DeMarcus in this game.
Yeah, and then he's like, boom.
That's true.
Yeah. So, anybody else? Oh, shout out to Jamal Murray. He's getting ready to play for Canada.
Gosh.
Yeah, he's getting ready to play for Canada. That's exciting that would be exciting to play for your country.
Yeah.
So give him a shout out.
Anybody else?
I think that's it. Anybody
All right.
else, Swanson?
No.
Well,
let's
have
get out of
fun.
here.
Have fun in Canton, you two.
Thank you. It is nice. The gold jacket dinner. They get their gold jackets. That's when it really sets in.
That's when
they're Hall of Famers now, but it doesn't really feel like it. You
No.
know? But when they put that jacket on,
That's
everything
when
changes.
Everything becomes reality.
Everything changes. Wow. And it's emotional.
And they become a Hoff.
Then you become a Hoff. Yeah. Steve will be out there.
Steve will
Try
be
and
there.
track him down. Maybe some of the guys from the Super Bowl 50 team. They'll be out there. It'll be nice. Should be nice.
Good
Hopefully
luck.
it's not too sweaty.
It'll be
Humidity?
sweaty. It'll be sweaty.
Yeah, it's going to be sweaty.
It'll be sweaty.
How many shirts do you think you do?
At least 3.
4? You do
At least
4?
3. Maybe
Yeah,
4.
Maybe 4. Swanson, 8. He's a sweaty guy.
Checking a big bag.
Yeah. You got to wear shirts, Swanson.
Big bag.
Yeah, big bag. Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us. For Ben Swanson and Eric Lala, I am Phil Milani. You've been listening to
The Neutrals.